Hello, group. Welcome to Action Rock Corner. I'm your host, Richard May. Sex Pistols. Live in the U.S.A. 1978. Let me say this as bluntly as possible. Yes, I enjoyed listening to the 3 shows. It's on box set and sold separately. Most listenable is the Winterland Ballroom set in San Francisco. Also have the Southeast Music Hall in Atlanta, and the Longhorn Ballroom in Dallas, Texas. Listen. You want to hear the Pistols live? Listen to this. The reunion show. Filthy Lucre live. Listen to this instead. Or listen to There Will Always Be England. Watch it. Go see the tour coming up. With the new singer, Frank Carter. Because they don't get on with Johnny Rotten at the moment. Do that. Listen to that. Listen to, excuse me. Listen to the original album. Okay? You love all that? Then you have my permission to take your time, because time is precious. Money is precious, especially what they're charging for vinyl nowadays. Okay? For vinyl, what they're charging, working 2-3 hours to make the scratch to buy this, and it's going to sound like it sounds like. Okay? If you're hardcore, you have my permit. If you heard everything else, you love it all, fine. Join me in enjoying these 3 live sets. But to me, it's academic. It's history that I'm listening to. I'm not listening to the most professional band on the planet. These Pistols, they're professionals all get out. Yeah. After the Pistols broke up, Glenn Matlock, Steve Jones, Cooksey, Lyndon, all went on to professional careers as musicians. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Over and over and over again. Great stuff. Not 1978. These are kids caught in the eye of the storm. Not even the calm eye of the storm. They're in the bad part of the storm. With, management making the wrong bet. Oh, let's send the Pistols to Redneck America and get some bloody headlines. Oh, they got them. Having beer cans, thrown in their head, or beer bottles thrown in their head, whatever. When you do listen to the 2 shows recorded, bootleg recorded, remember bootlegging? I forgot to bring out an example of bootlegging. Somewhere I do have a live Motorhead that I bought, a cassette. Blank cassette. a blank cassette, and they recorded the show they recorded, poorly recorded, because it was a tape recorder and a jacket. Doesn't sound like much. Yeah, it's like you're listening to the concert like a block away. The bad old days of bootlegging. That's what the first two shows are. They're bootlegs. On a cassette recorder in the crowd, and you hear the crowd. And you hear individuals in the crowd get fetching about the show. That's not a soundboard. That's a bootleg. Now, Winterland, go listen to one of those three. You listen to Winterland Ballroom, the last one, the last show of the original Pistols run. That was recorded professionally for a radio station to air it. And so that recording is a whole lot better. And it was filmed. And so I'm sure they also did better support for the band. The band was still and the band was breaking apart. And you're hearing it as the show is going on. You know, Sid being a junkie, Sid, you know, bringing up fights with the rednecks in the crowd. No, not professional. All of them would be, except for Sid. Sid became dead. That's what Sid happened. And that's a whole other movie. I'll have the soundtrack of the movie behind me on cassette. But the real four Pistols, they became professionals later. 78, they're not there yet. They're breaking up. You know, the old coda, the famous coda by Jai Rodden at the end of the Winterland show. Never felt like you've been cheated. And him just quitting singing at the last encore song. He just goes, what the hell am I doing? It's a bloody mess. You only want to spend the time, and it's here on YouTube. Mind you, when you look up on YouTube to listen to this, you will have a cover like the album's cover, like this, with the two buses and Live in the U.S.A. 1978. Okay? You see that this sort of cover with buses and live signs, that's what we're talking about. That's the box set of all three shows in sequence, warts and all, with audience response, undoctored. The one thing surprising listening to especially the two bootlegs from the redneck cities of Atlanta and Dallas, the crowd actually is cheering. The crowd enjoys this. There wasn't booing, you know, people there just to, you know, take the piss out of the Sex Pistols, per se. They're a minority, and they didn't bother with booing. They just threw stuff at the band. And of course you hear one going, that didn't hurt. Only recommended to listen to these three shows unless you heard everything else. You heard and loved this? Forgive me, I forgot to take it out so to reduce glare. You love this? then you're permitted to listen to these three. Okay? Gotta love these two. Love this, love this. Of course, there's only one record. Some singles laying around. B-sides, the movie. You love that stuff? Fine. On YouTube, find these three shows and see what you think. Then, you want to spend the money for a final record of this? Then you know what you're getting. But absolutely, the one thing to take away from this, what I'm telling you is, listen to it on YouTube before purchasing. Mind you, yes, I did enjoy my listening to the three shows. I listened to them a bit more than once. Not quite twice through, but I listened more than once. I enjoyed it. But me, I'm a hardcore Pistols fan. You may not be a hardcore Pistols fan like I am. You're hardcore? Go ahead. They need your money. Give them money. Buy the vinyl. If it gets released on CD, get that. Cassette, sure. Go ahead. There. And sometimes the music kicks in. Sometimes. Not all the time. You know, the first two shows in Dallas and Atlanta is like a bar band covering the Pistols and getting the abuse. It's 1978, folks. Put on rock and roll wasn't as professional back then as it is today. Everyone didn't get the training. And of course, the Pistols experience informed people for punk in later years. Oh, when we go tour in the States, let's stick to the coast. Let's stick to California and New York. You know, the Northeast corridor, you know, New England corridor, and around LA and San Francisco. And maybe up to Seattle. Middle of the country, maybe not. Until people understand us better. One cool thing, you'll find, there's a radio advertisement for the Dallas show, the Longhorn Ballroom show. I love that ad. You know, who ever could be more shocking than Alex Cooper and more explosive than Kiss? The Pistols. $3.50 to see them. Oh, the days of tour support. $3.50 to go see the Pistols. And throw a beer bottle at them. That ad was special. And there's, you know, audience noise and also the announcer for the venue, you know, saying the show's over. You can go home now. You're not going to get an encore. They're in the bus. They're leaving. Leave now. And they announce a punk show that's going to occur soon thereafter. A bunch of bands even I never heard of. But the last band mentioned was the B-52s. You remember the B-52s? Rock Lobster. So there's a B-52 reference in this set. So it's history. Not necessarily professional entertainment. Mind you, I enjoyed it, I like it, and for hardcore fans, I recommend it. But you gotta be hardcore. Hardcore Pistols fan. Okay? We're clear? Thank you. Enjoyed this video? Bless your heart. Give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel. You know, people need a warning about before they fork over $30 or whatever the final records. $100? What's the box set going for now? Ring the notification bell and leave a comment. The box set came out around the beginning of the year, so I'm a little late to the game. But these standalone records of each show, because the show didn't last very long. Only had one record, remember? You know, throw in a Stooges cover, no fun. I Want to Be Me. Dolson Was a Gas, and the San Francisco show. You know, yeah, you can put on one final record. So that's recent. You can buy the individual records. And of course, they've been on bootleg forever. And the Winterland show was issued back in the 90s, I read. And that was... I missed that one. But you always see a one thing or another referring to the Pistols. You'll see a bit of the footage from the Winterland show. And for the latest in Action Rock, Garage Rock, and classic and legacy bands, come back here to Action Rock Corner. Remember, fresh music is as important as fresh food. Have fun with your music. How much fun is this? If you're a sick puppy and enjoy the pain that the Pistols was going through, their growing pains. And, well, Sid Vicious did not grow. He died. But for Cooksey, Jonesy, and Giant Rotten, and Matlock, elsewhere growing in his own right, yeah, they turned out fine. And we love them for it. Rock and Roll Hall of Famers. Gotta love them for it. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for one record. Not even 10 songs. I think in the live set they throw in a couple, barely 10 songs in their entire repertoire. Damn good band. Go see them live. I hope to see them live when they come through Cleveland in the fall. We'll see you again soon. Have fun, and thanks for watching.